Hello everyone, Zelrinth here, and today they had the 1.5 live stream showcasing everything that will be coming up at 1.5. I was originally planning to stream it and watch it, but I was not feeling that good this morning when I was trying to get up to watch it, so I thought I'll just hold off and then watch it later in the day, which I've now watched, as well as looked at some recaps of the whole thing and gotten a good idea of what's coming out. So I thought we kind of just go over it and give my thoughts on some of the stuff that has been mentioned there. I mean, the biggest thing that's going to be here is the new units that are coming up. So we have Astra Yao, who's going to be our first S-tier support unit that's coming out. And she's definitely a unit. Now, I've paid attention to the leaks to a certain extent, at least specifically in Astra Yao. And she is going to be on my list when it comes to the priorities of polling in ZZZ, a top tier poll priority for just about everybody. And it's just because, I mean, she is a support unit that is coming out. When you look at her, what they say you kind of got to do down here with the little brief here, she can go into her idyllic condensa state, which allows her to buff the damage of her entire squad, remains on the battlefield to continue buffing those teammates even when you switch out, which you will actually see her still in the battlefield as you're fighting with the other units. And then her ultimate not only will damage the enemies, but it is a way to heal your own teammates. That is going to be extremely useful in that tower mode that has come out, where you're slowly climbing the tower, and you basically keep the damage that you've accumulated over the time as you go through the tower. You can add in new teammates as a kind of way of a workaround. But with Astra Yao, if you're good enough, it'll be a good way to keep yourself topped up and maybe go longer and longer in the tower. Now, the big reason I'm going to say she's going to be, to me, a must pick up for just about everybody. Now, I know a lot of people don't have the polls and they maybe want to get Evelyn, who's the other one, which we'll talk about here in a second. One big thing with support units is they always generally hold their value long term in these types of games because they're not easily replaced. Now, I will say there is one downside to Astra Yao, is she is very generic in the support. Since she is the big first support coming out, she does have like a generic covers everybody. She can fit within any team. Now that's a really good thing because she can fit within any team. You can throw her with your anomaly team, you can throw her with your attack team. She'll work with just about everyone. But that comes with the downside is since she's not specialized, it's almost certain that she will be power crept by future supports, but those future supports are going to be much more specific. You'll probably have one that is very specific to attack, maybe one that's very specific to anomaly, and then maybe they'll start getting even more specific into the types of anomaly, disorder, or maybe an element type. But so that is the one negative of Astra Yao. She may lose her value down the line to other supports as we start getting more specific ones that are going to work better with team comps. But within this game, I think having a generic support that just works just in general with anybody is going to be absolutely top tier. And it's going to have a long-lasting effect because you need multiple teams for the content, and some of it, there's the one mode where I think you need the three separate teams. And so I don't see her getting power crept to the point in the future until we actually have already gone through 3 supports at a minimum. So she's going to have a lot of staying power. And so I think she's going to be a great one to pick up. I think the heal is going to be huge because that's the one thing. I mean, if you're good at this game and you're able to dodge every attack, and I mean, healing doesn't really matter to you. But if you're like me and you're just your average person who's playing this game that's not that good, not the best, it is definitely going to be a huge buff to your account having her on your team. And I always like to get the support, so that's just going to be my key there. But when we go to the second character here, Evelyn Chevalier, and I know after Miyabi, I know a lot of people are probably hurting on polls because we've had some great ones here, especially on the anomaly side. I know people have kind of been getting sick of them. So people are probably hurting on polls. So if you're wanting Evelyn, Astra Yao, maybe someone you might have to skip if you really want her if you don't have the polls. But Evelyn is an attack unit. Now, I have not heavily looked into her kit too much because I already knew I was going to be skipping her. Once I found out she was an attack unit, my account is very heavily anomaly focused. So the next units I'm really looking at are possibly like your other anomaly or whatever else comes out next for them, or the support / defense types that can support them. But when I looked at her kit, the big thing they mentioned here is she is a fire type, so she's going to go really well with your fire type teams, which we have already a decent amount with like Lucy in them, and I believe Lighter Lucy, and if you need another stun, you have like Colada. So quite a few options here. And then some of the key features of her is she generates burning tether points with her attacks. This allows her to do a chain attacks on her own without the rest of your team once she fully accumulates it. And then she enters a state dance of awakened fire after using her ultimate for the first time, triggering another ultimate after that will make Evelyn do a new animation. So the big thing here is if you're someone going heavier into the attack side of things, or you've pulled, say, Lighter, or you have Kalita, and you have a really good Lucy, or you just like the character. I mean, because ultimately when it comes to your DPSs that are going to be on the field for a long time, you want it to be a character that you really like. And so if she is someone that you like her personality, you like her style, and we'll get to see even more of her within the story to get a better feel of her, then she is going to be an easy pull. But for someone like me, I am finding her to be pretty easy skip. I've already got my fire damage kind of covered. Now it's only more of a sub DPS because it's Bernice with my anomaly side. But generally when I'm fighting the battles, I just bring whoever's the damage type that the enemy's weak to, and then another one of the anomalies to cover the disorders. And so she was an easy skip on that direction, and I really haven't heavily focused on attack other than Juyan, who I have. But she is definitely going to be a great unit for what everything I've seen. Her damage is going to be comparable to Miyabi's to a lesser extent, depending on how you built her. But I don't know all the numbers, and that, like I said, I have not dug into her. And I think she's just going to be a personal choice type unit. She's probably going to be on the top tier of units, as just like they usually do as they come out. But the big thing with DPS is you just gotta like the character to want to get them. I really liked Miyabi. I made sure to get her. I like Yanagi. I got her. I like Bernice. I got her. I just like the anomaly units. So that's just my personal opinion. I think she's an easy skip for a lot. But if you like the character, you'll definitely want to go ahead and pull her on that. And then it kind of brought up the next, the Paparazzi Bangbu. Just another Bangbu. From talking with other people when I was trying to figure out what's the best Bangbus and stuff for your teams, it seems to not be too relevant. Just get the one that kind of fits with your teams. I mean, this is something you can't pay to win to get, and so they don't have a huge impact on the battle. But it's just I don't believe they actually gave the number, seeing as this doesn't break it down, so you don't get the entire capabilities here. But it's going to probably fit alongside having both of the units within this, I don't even know what the faction's called, but Astro Yo's faction. And so we'll kind of have to see with that one. But like I said, Bambus haven't had really a massive impact. The biggest thing I think they have the biggest impact in is for my anomaly teams. They can build up anomaly, so I try and get the unit that's going to be off field the longest. So like with Miyabi, I try and have that lightning one with the just so that we can build up that anomaly. I can switch into Yanagi and get that disorder real quick to switch back. But for an attack side things, if you're using attack type units, I mean, it's not as important because anomaly damage doesn't matter. I don't care about their ability to build up anomaly, and they don't really do much else. Their damage is minimal. So we'll kind of have to see what other capabilities has, because I know there's some with the other factions that can give other little things like energy or healing. So we'll see with that. Then we do have our first reruns. We have Ellen Jo coming up. Now, like I said, if you're not an anomaly person, you're an attack person, you missed Ellen Jo, I guess you can get her at this point. But to me, I mean, Miyabi was just so broken and so good. I mean, this one is, I mean, she was just power crept Miyabi. I wouldn't advise anybody to want to pull over Ellen at this point unless you really like the character. I haven't really tried her. I haven't really played her much because I skipped Ellen and went for Jian instead. But I think pretty much everybody at this point who skipped Ellen originally skipped her for the same reason I kind of did, was because we kind of had the feeling that Miyabi was going to be ice based on what she was originally in the beta and stuff. So, but she will be available for pull. But the big one I think here is going to be Zhang Yi, and that is going to be due to the fact I think a lot of people, myself included, depending on how well my pulls go with Asher Yao, I may end up pulling for her. And that is because I do have a Zhu Yang. She was my first DPS. I wanted to get it out. And Asher Yao being either element type. She'll pair extremely well with Zhuyang, and then you can bring her in as your stun, and you'll have a full, really good team on the attack side. Because realistically, if you're going for that combo, she's a massive improvement over the other options that you have. And so that is a potential pickup for people that had to skip her because she was right after Zhuyang, even though she still continues to be the best with her. So that's definitely an easy one there. And it comes right after Ashiao. So if you're in the same situation as me where you've blew all your pulls on Miyabi and you have very few left, you can at least go after your Ashiao first. Maybe you get lucky and then you have some consolidation pulls after that to go for her. So that's nice that it's coming on the second one for her. And so it may be an option for those to pull. You got your typical new special story and stuff. They are now adding some skins. So they're coming right off the bat with one for Astra and Ellen. Or Astra, even though she's new. And then Ellen's getting a new one. It's the one we've seen her around the town and city in, which was her school outfit. So nice there. Both of those will be paid options. And then we are going to be getting a free Nicole one, which is pretty cool because I actually still am going to be using her with my Zhuyang. And I've thought of the idea of potentially, since I have an M2 Miyabi, doing a double support either disorder team with Miyabi. I'll have to see how well it works. But basically the idea that I've seen is that you get a Nicole and Astra Yao pairing it with Miyabi. You build them up for Anomaly, and then you just jump between the two. They'll get your disorders by putting a lot of either anomaly on the enemies, and then you can go back into Miyabi, and you're on Miyabi like 90% of the time. And so she still gets used to my teams, whether it's Zhuyang or if I try that. So definitely cool that we're getting a free costume or skin for her. Astro Yao concert before the curtain. So this is just going to be your standard login events, a lot of other giveaway events. It looks like we're getting a double 10 pull based on there being a New Year gift and the standard 10 pull they give. And then you have your bang boost. So it's just your typical ones with an extra one mixed in, which is going to be nice. Then it's just some more event stuff, different little mini games that they're adding to it. More updates to Hollow Zero, the battle trial. And there was one more, yeah. And then there was the double material drop event that they're going to have. They always have one of them, it seems, per patch. And so, yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing too crazy. I believe I seen on another thing that they are adding some improvements in little areas here and there. And if I remember, one of them was for doing the one drop where you get the purple drops for upgrading your skills. I forget what they're called, but they're going to make it so you don't have to fight the first portion. You can skip that first little mini boss before the main boss. So they're saving you a little bit more time on your weeklies or dailies on that kind of stuff. So that's really nice. Actually, I think that was pretty much it. I don't remember any of the other specifics. I mean, it's hard to note everything down that they mention on those, but there is a lot of other quality of life that I've seen that I can't think off the top of my head. But yeah, that is pretty much it. But I'm really liking this update. I mean, I don't think it's going to be quite as good as 1.4, but then again, 1.4 was a really big update and a lot of massive changes to how things work. And there was a lot of hype built around Miyabi, and they really delivered on her. Now, I do believe the first support, they're delivering on Astra to me. Now, the nice thing being that she is just a generic support, and I think that's the good thing. She's not hyper specific. I know there is rumors that she was going to be hyper specific to Miyabi, and that was not going to be very good overall, just because then it's just like, well, you're leaving all your other DPSs out to dry, even though Miyabi came in and just blew everyone out of the water initially. So it is nice that she's going to be able to work pretty much with whatever you have if you pull over her. But yeah, that's kind of just my thoughts on it. Definitely a great update. And since I'm kind of trying to get into ZZZ as we get into getting ready for the next one to come up, I will put out a specific video on actually each of these units as I look at them a little bit more. Actually can see the numbers and their actual skills once they release that. Because right now, even though I can look at the leaks and do that, I don't want to discuss the leaks. I just want to discuss what they've made available here. And so once I get a little bit more information that I can put out, I will do specific character videos. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it. If you like my content, if you could like, comment, and subscribe, it really helps. And thanks for watching.